Yes, we are good to go, Nelson.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Welcome everyone for joining this session. XM Cloud GraphQL Advanced Filtration with XM Cloud with preview and edge environment. In this session, I would like to share my experience details of XM Cloud, which helps me to fetch the data from Sitecore content and authoring environment, which is a preview, and how to fetch the data from the edge environment. Okay, and some of the management related GraphQL queries, which we are able to create an items and all other management thing in XM Cloud. Okay, yeah. Um, so about myself, I'm Nelson, solution architect from Horizontal Dubai. This is my LinkedIn profile and some of the blogs I'm writing in this URL. Please check it out. And agenda for this session is why GraphQL in XM Cloud and GraphQL query difference between XM Cloud environment, authoring environment, and preview environment, and generation of token for authoring environment, edge environment, okay, as well as for XM Cloud preview environment, okay, and a difference between fields and sitecode template types, which is a strongly typed type. So we can see those difference, how that helpful for us to filter the data, okay, and special fields. In Sidecore XM code, we actually having some kind of a special fields which helpful in filtering the data that we cannot see that, and different types of operators like this is again used in terms of filtrations. So what are the different types of operators which we're gonna use for filtration, and ignoring field serialization. This is something like some what kind of field we gonna ignore at the time of serialization, which will not show up in the layout service, so that we cannot query that in the GraphQL thing. Basically, this is for the performance reason. We'll see how we're gonna configure that one. And finally, the demo. So we'll see some of the demos here, like a different type of queries, like layout queries, site query, item query, parameter queries, fragment queries, filtration. This date filtration and date range filtration, which is a new feature, and this is very limited for some of the customers. It is in a preview mode, but yes, if the we can see how that works. Um, Different types of sitecore field filtration, like we can filter with tree list, drop link field, and other field as well. So I can show that one. And finally, search with the pagination. So how different types of pagination happening in Experience Edge and XM Cloud Preview environment, as and some basic thing with authoring environment as well. And finally, like we have like multiple and an or condition in GraphQL query. Like basically, we can query multiple operators using for searching it exactly. Okay. And finally, mutation. This is basically used in authoring environment where we can create items, delete items, and do all other activities, which we usually do it in the wizards in the content editor. Okay, but we can now able to do it in XM Cloud GraphQL itself. Okay. Finally, the questions. Okay. Yeah. So now, why GraphQL? Okay, so this GraphQL is introduced in the recently, like a couple of years back. Well, all our industries are actually using all the languages. Everyone is using this GraphQL standard. In Sidecore, like they already introduced in XP environment already, on all other products as well, like Content Hub and other product as well. In XM Cloud, how it helps for us. Okay, so in XM Cloud, like we majorly using a SaaS-based product. We majorly using in different kind of devices like mobile devices, LOT devices and different devices. Okay, so we need to provide an omni-channel experience here. So we need to able to get the data easily and give it to the mobile devices. So they should load as quick as fast. Okay, so they should not have any network problem or downloading large content. So basically this GraphQL helps us to fetch whatever we relevant for us. We will only fetching those things, and it really helps in performance as well. And we can easily instead of using REST API, like we can go using GraphQL API, because REST is actually we don't have any control on it. Like whatever they sending to us, we have to use the data, okay, whether we need it or not. So GraphQL helps in that way. And like also with respect to GraphQL, like we can enable multiple related queries in a single request. Okay, that means in a single GraphQL query, I can create multiple chunk of queries. So when I fire it, I can get the results of all those queries which I've triggered. So that is also possible. And as I told, there is a strongly typed GraphQL schema is the support provided by Sitecore. Basically, any templates you guys are created, like that will be automatically converted to strongly type. So we can able to query those template using the strongly typed template which is created by them. Okay, this will be automatic generation, and there is one drawback here. Uh, you can't create template anywhere in the Sitecore content tree. You need to follow the helix based structure. Like you should be under foundation, feature, and project, and user defined somewhere. Only those places when you create the template, it will be automatically generated as a strongly typed templates. So that used for querying. If you create other places, it will not generate it. Okay, usually it will take like once you create it, it will be it will reflect immediately, but depends of some scenario, it will take some 1 or 2 minutes to reflect in the playground. Okay, I'll show that one. Yeah, this exactly as I told, we actually using GraphQL using in different environments like content tab, XP, and everywhere. Okay. Um, Now we'll see some of the differences between XM Cloud GraphQL in different environment like authoring environment, preview environment, and edge environment. Okay. Um, by default, like we all the schema defined by the GraphQL is different for different environment. Like you can't use the same GraphQL query in XM Cloud preview on authoring and edge. Everyone has a different schema, but there is a slight a similarity between XM Cloud preview and edge environment. So they are actually the mirror of both. But again, as I told, there will be minor schema changes between them. So sometimes some of your query might not work in edge environment, and that will work in a preview environment. Okay, so we need to careful on this one. We need to run it properly and execute that one. Okay. Um, Also, like we have a different query filtration options. Like some of the filtration in XM Cloud preview will not support in Edge. Say for an example, as I told initially, like the date filtration as a new feature, so that will not available in XM Cloud preview. That will be only available in XM Cloud Edge environment only. Okay. Um, yeah. Let's go. Let's see some small differences between these environments. Okay. Here, when we try to filter the field using Sitecore tree list or something. Authoring environment, this is XM Cloud authoring environment using lowercase for the GUID, but for Edge and preview, you can pass like any format where the GUID in lowercase, uppercase, curly braces separated, hyphen removed, everything it will work. Um, Again, uh, the second point is querying non-layout items. Okay, so basically this is something like I faced in my application. Like whenever you try to filter any items under data folder which doesn't have a presentation in XM Cloud preview environment, it is giving properly that you will get entire data object if you're using JSON value. But if you try the same thing in XM Cloud Edge environment, you will be getting a raw value because it doesn't have a layout as presentation details attached to it. So this is the issue, and it has fixed by Sitecore. So if you guys want to try any data fetching from the data folder, yes, this you can able to now fetch the data without any raw value. You can easily get all the objects under it. Okay. Again, date range filtration, as I told, like in Edge, we using raw value of the date for filtration. On XM Cloud preview, like we using JSON value for date filtration. As I told, like there's a different schema and different filtration option. This is one of the example for it as well. So you can't use JSON value to filter in the Edge, and similarly raw value in the XM Cloud preview for date filtration. Okay. Okay, now what is the purpose of authoring environment? As I told, like authoring environment is purely for management related activities. Um, example like whatever you're doing in Sitecore content tree, like creating, deleting, indexing, what else, like image uploading, all other options, like so template creation, field update, everything can be done using GraphQL, using content authoring GraphQL environment. Okay, and edge and preview is purely for data fetching. Whatever the content you are authored in the Sitecore, which will be which you're able to fetch using GraphQL. Published content will be available in Edge, and non-published content will be able to query from the GraphQL preview itself. Okay. Okay. This is exactly I'm trying to say here. Um, pagination. Okay. Pagination is one of the important key in terms of fetching the GraphQL results. So in terms of pagination, like Edge is actually providing us a JWT token. Um, with the help of JWT token, like we can able to do the pagination. We used to call it as cursor. So that cursor will provide us the data like what exactly page size we gonna look at, and like what is the last item I need to fetch it. So I can show that one as in a demo. Also XM Cloud Preview also providing a token, which is a JW token with less information, which will give only the page number. I'll show that one as well. Okay. Now, let's try to create a authoring token so that we can use GraphQL environment to query that. Okay, so yeah, I will show a small demo on that one quickly. Okay, so I will try to create a GraphQL. Moment, a second. It's taking time. Can I move this? Okay, fine, good. So first, let me generate a token. So in order to generate a token, please go to deploy to Sitecore order sitecloud.io. So based on your subscription, you can go there. And once you're done with that, you can create a credentials here. Okay. So under the credential, you have a couple of options like organization and environment. So you can, if in order to create a token for GraphQL for authoring environment, you can go to this organization and you can create the credentials here. You can type some name here and say for an example, let me create it here. Okay. GraphQL authoring. Okay, so once you create this one, this will give us client ID and client secret, which help us to query the Sitecore authoring environment. For that, again, we need to use this client ID and secret ID. First, using that one, we need to generate a token. That is a bearer token. Without the bearer token, we can't query the authoring environment. Okay, so right now we got the client ID and client secret. Now we can generate the token. Okay, so I actually have that one with me. I can show that. Second. Okay, I think I had it. Okay, a second. A minute. Okay, anyway. Yeah. So okay. So basically, like there is a endpoint for us. Like using that endpoint, like auth.sitecore cloud.io. Using that endpoint, we can able to create the token. We need to pass a body with this client ID and secret ID what we generated right now. Using that one, that will give us a token. Using the token, we can able to um, query for that items. Okay. Um, the second thing is like generating a token for preview environment. So for the preview environment, we can directly go to this location and in Sitecore content tree, we can create it this item using this item ID. This item ID will be used as our key for the preview environment. Okay. So if you see this response here, this is exactly what I'm trying to say for authoring environment. So if you post this request, HTTPS auth.site. Yeah.
It's a question. When we go back on a previous screen, you said that we can create an item with that item ID. So
Yes.
how was it already created there?
No. Basically, like if you install a Docker environment, this particular thing will be automatically created for you. But yes, we can also create our own as well. Okay, this is something automatically created, but we can create this one, and we can use this item ID. This item ID will be used as your API key for querying the records from GraphQL. This is in preview environment. Okay. This is again this is exactly the request I thought of putting in Postman. So when you put this request in Postman, this grant type will be client credential. Client ID we just showed you, right? The client credential, client ID and secret. Once you use this one, this will give you an authorization token. That token we can use it for our querying purpose. Okay. Now we saw preview. Now edge token. Okay. Edge token is again similar. Like if you have the GraphQL, see everything we can do it with CLI as well. Okay, CLI it will need to do like we need to query with a project, then environment, then we need to do for everything. So instead of doing that way, if you have access to this portal itself, it is very easy for us to generate these tokens. Okay, so I can show you how to generate the token in Edge environment for Edge. Okay. So again, same place, credentials. You see there is the Edge. Okay. Sorry, give me a second. Go to the any of your project. So say for an example, I'm going to this particular project. So there is a website available. Just click this three dots. There will be a settings option. Click the settings option, and there will be a click this site developer settings. Just go to the developer setting and you can generate a key. Okay, this will be your key. Okay, and this key will be used for querying our application using Edge. Okay. So again, each and everything has a API URL and playground URL. Okay, so see everything has a API URL and playground URL. So this API URL is where you're gonna hit this endpoint and query the record. And playground URL is something like if you want to visually see the GraphQL query in action, right? So that's a playground URL. So if you are using any API environment or middleware or microservices, you can still use the API URL. Okay, so everything has both API URL and playground URL. Okay, I will show you how that one. Yeah. Now the thing is like difference between field and sitecode template field. Okay, so inside in GraphQL in XMcloud, like this is not only with XMcloud, this is also for the XP environment as well. So again, we are following the similar query here in XM in preview in XP as well. We're using field and the template field. So whatever the template you have created, it will be automatically converted into strongly type, and we can query on top of it. Okay. Oh, but there is a small drawback here. Say for an example, you actually created an item with template A, and you also created an item with template B. Okay. Now you have some couple of fields like in template you have like a short title and description. You also have same field in template B, short title description. But when you querying using the template field, okay, but if you using as a template A, but your the path you are looking for is template B, you will not be able to get any single data because template query will map to that particular template based on the item. Okay, so you will not get the items which created on template B. I will show that one as well. So that is one drawback here. This will be used if you want to use a reusable query. This is a problem. So you need to use template based querying only. If using field type query, you can't query other templates items using the same query. So that is the problem here. Okay. Again, if you're using a field, the complexity will be high. Okay. Basically, like you're using like link field and all those field, if you're trying to use like multiple nested queries or something like that, complexity will be more in field, but the complexity will be less in strongly typed template types. Okay. Also, like if you see, like we can able to combine both queries. So like in a single GraphQL query, we can able to combine like a field query as well as a template query in the same thing as well. So that is possible. Yeah, that's it. Let's get into next thing. Yeah. Oh, sorry. There is one more thing here. Okay. As you see it in the picture here, like this is one of the example of a template query. Strongly type like CTA link underscore something is coming, right? That's a GUID. So why this is coming, basically, like I have created a field like CTA link, okay, inside Sidecore, but I also created one more CTA link which is inherited template. Mistakenly, I have inherited the same template to that particular template itself. Okay. Or else, like you can think scenario like you created like two template same name. Okay. But in different folders. Okay, that is also possible, right? We would have created two templates in different folders. So what will happen? Sidecore end of the day, it will try to create a strongly typed template types, right? So in that case, there is a duplicate. It will find there is a duplicate template available. So it has to figure out like how can I query this one. So if you just put like a template A in the folder A and template B in folder B, end of the day, it will create a template A only for as a strongly type. So you can't query items, right? So because of that, Sitecore is creating a GUID, which is based on the template name or field name, whichever is duplicate, it will create a unique ID for it. Okay, and it's based on the recent created date. So which one is recently created, that will be appended to this one. The oldest one will still have the same name. Say for an example, I have the CTA link created yesterday, that will still show CTA link only. One more CTA link I created today, that will show us a CTA link with underscore with this GUID. So uniquely identifying this one. So I can able to query this record without any issues. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The next thing is ignoring field from serialization. Okay. So this is very important. Basically, like we are using layout service for our GraphQL queries, right? So all the content which we are putting into Sitecore, which will be published through layout service to different devices like website or what do you say? You can access it from Vercel. We are using Edge query for mobile devices and many places, right? So it is very important. Like we don't want to put unnecessary field. In this example, what I showing is related items. Okay. So basically, like it's a nested item. So in this related item, we actually having one item. Under one item, we having a multi-list, and that multi-list having item of this similar items, like same kind of item that again has a multi-list. It will go in a loop. So what will happen? It will give a biggest circle dependency. So so it will create your publishing and everything very slow, and it will stuck somewhere. So please try to ignore like wherever it is required, we will ignore those fields which creating this kind of circular dependencies and all those things which it doesn't need to be shown in a graph layout service. Okay. So once you ignore the field in layout service, you're not able to query in GraphQL using Edge or Privy anywhere. You can't query that one because it's already ignored in the configuration itself. So you can't see the data in layout service. You can't query the data in any Edge environment. Okay. Also, by default, like there is a serialization max depth is by default is 4. That what that means? Basically, we have a link field, something as I told, multi-list and something like that, right? A multi-list will refer to some item. That item will again have some more multi-list. Again, it has dependencies, right? So, how many level of the data you want to serialize? Say for an example, I'm using item A. Okay, if you're trying to get item A data, all the data, you will be using a layout query, and I using the parameter using attribute as rendered. Okay, that means I will give entire data from the template A item. Okay, so that here I actually having a multi-list. That multi-list as again as linked to some other item, and that some other item as linked to some other item, right? So what will happen? It will gives like a maximum serialization depth. So in this case, like this is very important. If you want to, if you're not getting the data, if you're getting a raw value, you can increase the maximum serialization depth to 6 or 7 or something based on your thing. But keep keep in mind, like whenever you increase the serialization depth, it will give the performance degradation as well, because it is trying to serialize all your content. Okay, so that's important here. Okay, this is again like same thing. Instead of ignoring the field, we are ignoring the entire path itself, like template item itself. Like if you don't want any item to be get serialized or any template not to be get serialized, yes, we can put it in this exclude path, and that item will not never get be serialized. So we can't query that item. So now this is a special fields and attributes. So these are the couple of attributes and fields available for us to querying. So like value, JSON value, type name, definition. So again, value is basically like it's a kind of a raw value. So whatever the data you want to query, so that will give you a raw value. By default, text is a text, right? So but think in terms of a date field, it will give you like a raw value. Okay, like okay, yeah, raw value. Okay, yeah, I can't explain that one very you, but it's a raw value. Okay, type name, basically this will give you what kind of a type it is. Like it is uh, w- uh, say for an example, if you putting the type name under any of the item, it will give what kind of type it's what type is, like a item template or something. Like it will exactly give what type it is. Say for an example, it will give like uh, s- um, maybe I can show a demo to that one quickly. A second. So yeah, I have item query here. So just here. So you could see like this particular type shows me what kind of a template is it. Okay, like okay, I'm just using home page, and it is giving the home page type as well. So like that, you can get it. Also, we have one more field called the type, which will be I can show that one as well. Type. That's one field which will show at the time of pagination. I can show that one how that is useful as well. So definition is basically like you have a template, right? We created a template. I want to see all the what are all the data fields which is created, like single line text, multi-line text, what are the structure we can able to see it. Own fields is basically like I'm gonna query only the field which is relevant to the particular template, not the inherited one. So with the help of this one, I can able to query the data. Base template, you can query what are the base template for this particular templates, and query those names, IDs, and everything. As I told, a template, as again you can query the item template. And its detail as well. Fields, field is basically it will give the array of field. So there is two options for querying the item, which is field and field names. Sorry, fields and field. Field is something you manually need to query what field you need to get the data from. Say for an example, you want to get the data from a title field, you need to put field um, bracket of name colon title. But if this field is that field is a single one-to-one relationship, but this field is an array, so you can get all the fields from the templates. Okay. um uh, Sorry. Also schema, it will give, again it will give the schema, what kind of a schema we are using for it. Again, I will show that one as well. As layout, basically like if you're using any item, and if you want to ignore some of the item which doesn't have a presentation, and you don't want to get the data from there, yes, we can use this as layout property. Thus this will give you like uh, this will help you in the search condition where you only need to get data with or without presentation. That will help here. Include template IDs, again like it is also used at the time of searching, so you can use this one to include some of the template IDs. Only those template ID you can able to fetch the data. Say for an example, you are looking from the root folder, okay, but you want to get only details from the particular relevant particular templates. We can use this include template ID, and we'll get only those data as well. Ancestors, yes, we can get current item and its is ancestor data. Okay, we can get that one. Path is, so path parent name is very important in this GraphQL query. Everything, every search we are using is based on path only. So with the path, we can again path, it's an item ID or physical path like sitecode/content. We can use anything. So using that one, we can query the data, but we need to be careful when we are using path. If you're using path, it will give you all the child as well. Basically, it will not give you only the particular item, it will also give you the child as well. So we need to fine tune our query using like multiple conditions, like this is coming from this template, coming need to verify like this field we want to retrieve. So all literally we need to do all the filtration, else it will give all the data as all the child items as well. So if you, yeah, parent, yes, it will give the parent details, name. And this name field is basically used for filtration in terms of like want to filter, say for an example, I have a title field, I want to filter this title field as this value, right? So, and also like a drop link field, this drop link field name, like like here, like I have like CTA link initially, the CTA link has this EGUID. Okay, based on that we can show the record. So this is for a field level filtration, like, you know, this is for the filtration purpose only. Okay. Couple of operators which we are using uh, in our application for searching is this one, like contains, equal, NEQs, not equals. Okay, there you can see like GT, LTE, GTE is a preview feature, which you may not be seeing in your environment. Yeah, but this will be work only in Edge environment only. As I told, like we having a different schema. Um, like also there is a different people developing in terms of sidecar people. So for edge related queries you can't ask to preview environment team. So basically there is a different team working on this one. So this is a requested feature from our side. So we actually having a scenario like date filtration. So we initially, like out of the box, sidecar doesn't support date range filtration. So we are actually asked them to provide the support for date range filtration, like we can look for greater than this particular date, lesser than this date, something like that, right? So that kind of a filtration we can able to do it here, but we can able to do the same thing for numbers as well. But there will be a slight difference. Yes, we can try to use it as a number as well. Okay. Um, contains not contains. Okay, basically like this contains and not contains, what that exactly says, like if you're looking for some item in for searching, it will looks for whether I need to search only for this data contains or not contains. It's similar like how we doing in .NET and other programming languages. Again, EQ is the equals, it's again same in our programming language as well. Yeah, yeah. Demo now and show you this is an edge environment. Okay, so right now we have actually having edge environment, and I actually having this authoring environment. So this is an authoring endpoint, and this is an authoring endpoint and URL. Also, you could see like in authoring thing, we are using the token called key called authorization, and it is a bearer token. As I just generated, right, through Postman, which I not generated, but yeah, I showed you, right. So we can use that one here for accessing the data. For Edge, again, I showed you how to generate the token. Yes, we need to create a token here with X GraphQL token, and we can put the token name here. Preview environment, yes, we actually having a preview here. So preview is again here, it's a SC underscore API key, and we can use a token here. This is again item ID which we generated from Sitecore. Okay, and based on that we can query our data. So let's see this in action. So first, there is a different types of query available. There is a site query, layout query, item query, and search. Okay, so these are all the some of the schema available for querying the data. So this is a layout query. Uh, so so what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get the data from the homepage. Basically, this is homepage. Basically, whatever the site name you are providing it, the site name is actually mapped to a root path, right? So that is actually I'm trying a homepage here. Okay, under the homepage. So this will give me the homepage data. Under the homepage, I need to fetch some items, right? So I need to fetch the homepage item. So in order to fetch the homepage item, you need to use item query here inside it. And if this is a page with the presentation, we can directly put rendered here. What this will happen, this will give the entire results of that particular page. Okay, like all the fields, its inherited fields, everything it will give the data. So this is the exact data you can see that in layout service response as well. So if you guys are using any GSS app, this is the exact response you will be getting in the GSS app as well. And this is used by Vercel or anywhere. OK. So right now, if I use rendered, this will give all the percentage. So if I can show you like the components as well, like give me a second. So under routes, you see this is the under routes we actually having the fields, which is all the fields under these templates. OK. Also, we could see, sorry, let's see. Yeah, we see somewhere placeholders. Yeah, see. So we actually created some couple of placeholder, which is headless main and headless footer or something. And in that we can get all the components like so I have created like component of this one headless footer. So again, all the data under the placeholder. OK, and you can also not only the component you are getting under the component, you will be getting the data source as well. So everything will be there, and this data our layout service or GraphQL will be used to populate in the front end. OK. Apart from this one, if I want to get a individual data from there, like as I told, like we actually having a field option here. So this field option we can use it, and this actually having a name attribute. Using that name attribute, we can use a title example. So I want to query the title field. So this is an object. We need to use either this one. As I told, we actually having two property, value and JSON value. So value is a raw value, JSON value is an entire object. I can show you the object of this one. So let me do with value here. So you can get the value here. JSON value also will be same, because if it is a text field, it will be always the same, but you will get one more extra field as value here. OK. OK. Value JSON field will be useful when in terms of you using like a tree list, a multi-list, where you need to get the object of the particular linked item, the target item, right? You just don't want to get the name alone, right? You want to get the data of the linked item. Like say for an example, in the linked item, you want to get its template data like name, title, description. If it is having those data, you want to fetch those data. JSON value is a good candidate for us to fetch those data as well. OK. Uh, and then like as we discussed about layout and item query, item thing. So we can create alias name for this one. So say for example, like if I create the same thing like this one, this will give an error for me. Let me show you that one. So OK, so I'm just giving this one. So what it trying to say is I'm trying to create two fields. So from the GraphQL perspective, like it is a duplicate. OK, even though I am having a different name here, but end of the day, it's just a field. OK, so you can see like there is a conflict error message happening there. So in order to resolve this issue, Sidecar come up with an alias name. So we can put any alias name here. So I can put title here with a colon, and now it will work. OK, even though I not put alias name here, it will work. If I want, I can put alias name here as well. So any name we can put. So it's not like exactly we need to match that one. So now this should work. OK. Yeah. So this is basically like how the item query works and layout query works. As we see, like there's a route path. This route path actually looking for a route item. You can put any path you want, like which starts from the home pages. OK. Okay. But item query can also be path based as well. I can show you the item query without layout thing. Let me show you here. Yes. So here you could see I'm not using layout query here because I'm just directly hitting the item query here. Item query will be useful in scenario like if you want to directly hit an item which doesn't have a presentation details. OK, you can use it for a item with a presentation as well, but if you are already using layout query, then all the data will be already coming in the layout response itself, right? So but this item query will be mostly used in terms of like if you are trying to get a data from settings item or data folder or anywhere, right? So you can get those data easily. So you can just give the path as a path parameter, and this can be replaced with the GUID as well. You can directly use the GUID of this particular item, and you need to pass the language, and that's it. It should work. Yeah, I'm getting ID, but I can filter any field I want. So based on the field, I need to go with the same process like field. Okay. Title. I should get that value now. Okay. So yeah, this is how we can use the item query. So there is one more query which is like the same item query. Right now I'm using parameters, right? Okay, now we can use the query with parameter, without parameter. Right now I'm not passing any parameter from dynamically. I'm just hard coded all the parameters here. So which can be possible using this level, top level. If you go to the query level, we can go here and we can create our own parameter. Say for an example, I'm creating a language. So it should start with a dollar. So basically I want this to be a string data type. I can go with a string data type, and there's a path again. We can put a dollar again. Should be again a string data type. Okay, so what is this exclamation mark is a mandatory one. So that's what we are doing here. So once I did this one, so I can use this value here instead of hard coded one. I can use this one here. Okay, now if I run, it should throw error because I'm not passing any of this variable. So we need to pass the variable. Okay, through programmatically, yes, we actually having the GraphQL client API, which is a NuGet package available. We can use that one, and we call this endpoint and pass that parameters. But in the playground, we used to, this is the playground basically. So in the playground, we actually having a query variable window here. Okay, we can use this query variable window. So this will automatically give us the parameters we created here. So I'm just putting path here. I forget the path what I used. Okay, let me get some path from here. So we can close the path here. So it will give a nice intelligence whatever we're creating here. So it should be in. So it should work now. Yeah. So basically, like now we are passing it here. But yeah, any number of parameters, yes, we can pass here, and it should work. Yeah. This is how we are gonna pass a parameter query with item as well. Okay, this is not only for item query. You can pass this parameter to any level. Okay, there is one thing I just want to tell you here. Like we also using rendering level GraphQL query. Which example I can show you? Yeah, say for an example, I can go here. Right core. So there is a slight difference there. Okay, so example like I'm created some code for GraphQL code for this particular rendering, which is a JSON rendering again. So we should use JSON rendering only. So you could see like there is a suggestion for us. Okay. So if you are using anything in the rendering level, you no need to pass explicitly the parameters like the context item or the language or something like that. You no need to pass explicitly. It will be automatically taken care from your data source or current context item. So you could see like we created the here query here, which is a query again. We are getting construct as a variable, language as a variable. I'm passing this variable again in the item path, just creating alias name here. So nowhere I'm passing the parameter. Okay, I'm not passing parameters anywhere here. Like I'm doing it here. Okay, I'm not passing explicitly those parameter. Okay, so what this will happen whenever using any context item, the context item will be automatically resolved to this particular variable. Language will be also resolved to this particular variable. If using data source, whatever the data source you are pointed to this particular rendering, it will also be resolved automatically, and you can query based on that one. So this is one of the important benefits for us. So we no need to pass explicitly these informations. Okay. So this is exactly the same query, just here. Yeah. Okay. Now, as I told, like we actually having one more query, which is a site query. I can show you the site query as well. So, so basically we have a site query here. Okay, if we hit this one, it will give like all the information about the site which I'm currently on. So right now I'm querying only for this website site. I can use my current website as well, which is this one. I can go get the details of that one, like what is the host name and everything. I can get it. But yeah, you can get all the information of the site. Okay, like host name, route path, everything we can able to get it. So what is this routes basically here? So routes is basically like your page URLs. Okay, under home, under your website, you actually having a lot of routes. Technically, in Next.js or React.js, everything is called as routes, right? So route URL. So here, the convention is we are using as a routes. Basically, it's all the item with the presentations. It will be called as routes. You all the URLs will be displayed here, and we can use that URL for our further querying purpose. Okay. So exactly what here I'm looking under site, I'm looking for the language English and provide me all the route information. Like I can put a path here as well if I need page information, and I can go for all the details like. Okay. So so here comes the data. So this is actual query. So here I'm getting the data. Say for example, this is something I'm putting it here. Okay. Route path, the path name and everything. So say for an example, I can go here and show you. So you could see the data here, home page. Okay, so I'm getting the route here because let me go with the other website. We can show more data here. So you could see like I'm getting like many data here, right? So we can get all the data based on this one. Yeah. So you can see all the paths which is having a presentation, everything will be coming up here. So this is one of the uh, site query which will be used to fetch all the information. This will be useful when you want to try with the XM sitemap thing. You want to check any of the items published in the edge or something. This will be able to say, for an example, people you complain like I'm not able to see the data. Okay, I'm not able to see the page is displayed. So this kind of a query also help us like how many pages are published. So using that one, we can able to verify it. Okay, so yeah. And also you see there is one thing here, like this total page info end cursor as next. This is a pagination which is provided by GraphQL Edge, and the same thing is available for preview environment as well. Yeah. So this will give the total number of results. Say for example, under the query, whatever you're querying for, right? It gives like 100 records. This will give the total as 100. Page info will give you like the cursor is basically a JWT token. This is something I informed in the first initially. So this is help us to do pagination. So it's not like a number based pagination, it's a JWT token pagination. We need to pass the same token in the consequent queries. Okay, every result will have the different cursors. Okay, every time we need to pass this cursor to this GraphQL, so the next time it will get the data uh, freshly. Okay, and is properly doing the pagination. Okay, as next is basically tells us like whether there is more pages available for pagination. Okay, it will give true or false basically, which will help us to do a pagination from our front end side as well. So this is important thing. um, yeah, I think yeah, that's how site query will works. Let's go to some other query. Yeah, parameter query we just discussed, right? um, you see the fragment query as here you could see like in the GraphQL, like we actually having a fragment query. So let me show you fragment query itself directly. Okay, let me do this. Okay, what is fragment query? Basically, fragment query is something like you want to do a reusability. Okay, so instead of doing like every field querying individual fields, now you can create one common reusable method or something. How you used to do in .NET or somewhere. So here, like everything is a fragmented. You can create as a fragment. You can create a what are the fields you want to query, and based once you define that one, you can call wherever you want. Okay, so in this example, did I call it anywhere? I actually not called anywhere in this example. So okay, a second. We'll create it. Navigation links. Right. Let me see if I have anywhere. Yes, I have something here. Yes. Yeah. So as I told, right? So I actually created only one property, which is heading. Okay. So as this is a strongly typed data. So I can show you quickly here. One more fragment I will create here. Data one. So this is a syntax which we need to use. So if you see here, like I can get all the strongly typed template which is created by Sitecore, whatever the template I created, right? I can able to query it here. So if you see like all the templates I created, it is coming showing up here. So we can get the template details. So this is what I'm trying to use now. This particular details now. Under the particular details, it lists all the fields here. So these are all the fields which I created here. It lists all the fields here. So you can query whatever the fields you want. Okay. This is how the template query works for us. So right now I'm querying only give me the heading. Okay. Once I define the fragment, I'm just calling it here. Okay. As a spread operator. Okay. So once I run this one, it will give me the heading results. You could see like there is heading here. Everywhere I'm getting only heading here, right? Because I'm not calling any other information. But if you want to call like title, I can go ahead with title as well. So now I should get title as well. Yeah, see, title is already here with the heading and title. So I'm just reusing this data here instead of I'm manually. So you people usually what we do usually create like field here with like this, right? So I need to get like a title here. Okay, instead of doing this one, I'm just creating everything in the common place and I can reuse it here. Okay, that so by doing this one, we will reduce the template, complexity as well. So this is also one of the reason we need to go for a fragment as well. The complexity will be reduced. Okay, so how much we are actually doing this um, nested queries? This will be helpful for us as well. Yeah. So yeah, that's it here. Now we'll go look into search queries. Basically, this is an important thing. Okay, I have any search query here. Oh yeah. No, I think I can show you the special field which we discussed initially. I should copy here. Okay, fine. So here, as I initially told you, right, we have type name, own fields, name, base templates, and everything, right? I just show you here. So right now I'm looking for one particular item, this item. Under the item, I just looking what kind of a type name it is. This is based on this particular template. Okay, so this is exactly this particular item created based on this particular template. So this is the template, and from there, what I'm trying to see, trying to iterate the template details as well. So one more field, I'm getting the template ID, and under the template what are the fields it is created. Say for an example, I'm asking only the own field. That means not from the inherited template fields, only the template which has the field. Okay, so right now I'm getting the name from that one. So basically I created only one field which is called offer. Okay, I do not create any other field. Rest of the field will be inherited from different templates. Okay, so this is one of the things on base templates, right? So again, I can look for base templates. So what are all that template it has inherited? That will show all the see right now it is inherited base template fields, showing all the fields here. You could see like all the fields which is coming from the base templates, which will give all the base template fields here. And here I'm showing the name here. Let me show the name as well. So if you, let me recover. So you could see all the template which is inherited, it is coming up here. Okay, so basically we can drill down to the query like whether we want a field or we want a template level of in everything we can query. Okay, now okay, now we actually seeing in the template details, right? Now we'll go in the field level details. Okay, now this is the field level details. Now there is a title field here. I need to check what kind of type it is. Okay, in that case, it will give me whether it's a single line text, multi-line text, or on what kind of a field it is created. Let me minimize this one. Okay, now you see like I'm using a title. It's a type name. It will give me a text field basically, but it is basically single line text, right? But it is giving me a text field. So this text field helps us to understand like in Next.js app, you will be using like a type, strongly type of text field, link field, and all those types will be available. Okay, this is for the proper mapping purpose. So we can able to understand like what kind of a type it is. So basically with the help of this one also we can able to map it in the GraphQL in the Next.js app as well. Okay, now what I'm trying to do next time, definitions. Okay, in the definitions I'm trying to get its details like what is the name of this particular a field. It is created in the template. So I'll be getting the name here, title here, and also I see I can get the source as well, right? If any data source assigned to it, say for an example, you are using any multi-list field or tree list field, you actually using some data source, right? We can get the data source as well if you want to know, okay? And type. Exactly what kind of type is it? It's a single line text. It will give a single line text here. If it is a multi-tree list, it will give tree list. So that level details we can able to get it. Finally, I'm using JSON value or value, which will give me the value of this particular field, which we already seen, right? So that will give me the details of, yeah. So it give me the value in the particular field. So this is what exactly I thought of showing in the special field thing. Yes, I think you get some idea on this one right now for further filtration. Okay. Um, let's go into search now. I think we have enough time, right? I think we have less time. Is it okay, Khushbu, to continue?
Yeah, I think you can quickly show the search query.
Yeah, yes, okay. I want to show some terms, the date range filtration. That is the important point I just want to discuss with you guys now.
Sure.
Yeah, so. Okay. All right, so this is again a XM cloud edge environment only, right? So you could see like some of the, I'm just triggering it here. Okay, so first we'll talk about the date range filtration here, right? So as I told, I'm just looking for the path here. So and operator. So our search query will work basically like here. Okay, I think I need to go with the basic search query. Give me a second. Okay, everything is under. Okay, fine. Let me do it. Okay, fine. So we will be using search query. This is the syntax for search query. You no need to have this one. This is alias name which I'm created here. So query search where condition you need to use and operator. So basically and operators, whatever the condition you are putting under here, it will be and operator. Okay, so now everything is and here. Okay, that means it should have a layout, should have a presentation detail, and it should have the, it should look from this particular path and all these children, and it need to get only the data from this particular template. Okay. So this is all the schema relevant field. Okay, we can't use our own custom field. This is the predefined field from Sitecore, like underscore path, underscore template, underscore name. All those things are predefined field from Sitecore. We can't change it. Okay, so you should query only using these fields only. Okay. Now you see this publish date. This is something our own field, which is publish date field. It's a we created the user field, right? Based on that, we can search for the date. Okay, like what I'm looking at. This is, as I told, this is the JSON value, right? Yeah. Yeah. So using this one, we able to query or the results from the Sitecore. Okay. So I could see show something. Oh, this is a value field, not JSON value field. Okay. The value field. Let me show you one more field called JSON value here. State one. So you see the difference here, right? What is the difference between JSON value and raw values? So now you could see the same field, which is the same date, same field, but you're getting it here as a different field and you're getting it as a different here. Okay. So this is exactly called how that data is stored in database. So again, if you're using multi-list or something, you will be getting a GUID. But if you're using JSON value, you'll be getting an object. Okay, I can show you that one as well quickly. Okay, so here, if you this particular thing, you can show operators as I told you. Like you can see a number of operators here: equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than. When I try to use less than or equal to, so I'm seeing like 55 records. Okay, when I try with greater than, only 2 records. So what it is looking from particular date, are looking for the future events, future records. Okay, so that's greater than. Okay, let me show you greater than or equal to. So it's like currently I have 2 extra records with the same date, so I'm getting 4 records. So, and as I told you, this feature is not there before, and now we can able to get this feature. Now, when I try with equal, this is the existing feature, and everyone able to access this one. If I use this one, as I told, right, we actually having 2 records which in current date, right? So it will only match this date only. It will not go for the date range. It will always look only for the date that the parameter which we passed here. Okay, so right now what is showing is only 2 records matching this condition, so it is giving 2 records. If I sending it not equal to, it will give you every records which is not in the same date. Okay, and this is not a date range. This is basically not even considering this parameter. Now the thing is matching this particular date, it will give all the date. Okay, so greater than or equal to will be from current date to the future date, less than or equal to from current date to the past dates. Okay, equal to, not equal to, so again like exact matching to this one. Okay, and we actually having contains and not contains as well, so we can still use this one. Okay, and not contains as well. Okay, so this is a date field. We can use like a title field as well, in case like if I use any title field here. Second, sorry, is equal to let's go with greater than. I made something wrong. Oh, sorry, I changed it here. Sorry. Okay, see, now it is not even working because my date, I just changed it to T here, right? Which is that field is not available in my sidecar. So now I'm changing it back to publish date. Now it should give me the results. Yes, it's giving me the results, and it is giving this one. Let me try to find only the data from here. Okay, navigating. Okay, let's go here, change it to title. Okay, let's put it navigate here. Let's put it contents. Let's see if you're able to get the data. I think I'm getting data for the particular record here. So this is like a field level searching. Initially, I showed you like how date level searching is works. Now this is basically how the search keyword. This will be used when you want to do searching in your application, like a keyword searching or something. This definitely help you on that one. Again, I'm using contents. We can use equals as well. Equals might not work because it exactly try to match it. Okay, so if you have the exact word, you can use equal, but if you want to find anything middle or in between, so you can go and use the contents as well. Okay. Uh, Also, I just showed you, I told you about the cursor thing. This is my, give me a second. Okay, greater than. Okay, we go to less than or equal to. Okay, we actually have in the cursor here, right? Let me show you the cursor thing here quickly. So if I paste this cursor here, you could see like there is an option, right? I just copied the cursor from there, and it is giving me the count is 10, and it is giving me this data here, and also what parameter I'm looking. So if you search for this one here quickly, okay, I need to search it down. There's ID. I need to put ID here. Sorry, give me a second. See, so that should be last item, I guess. See, this is the last item. So we have a lot of items here. But what it is trying to do, it will look for the last item. It will have the look for the last. Next time when you pass the same cursor, it will ignore this last item. From the last item, it will take from the other items, other 10 items. Okay, that is how it will be work. Okay, so this is how the cursor in pagination works. So every time you need to pass a cursor, so there is one option to pass this one. Basically, we have after field here. Yeah, exactly, we need to pass the same cursor here. Sorry, that is a cursor. I pasted. Sorry, not displacement. Sorry. So I'm just gonna get this cursor here. So your front end application, we need to pass this to front end, and front end has to give this data to us. So next time when you run this one, it will give next 10 records. Okay, you can't see the same record again. It will be a different record. Okay, so if you see like this is 5, right? Initially we saw navigating, right? So it's a different 5 record, and this will also provide one more cursor, which you again copy it here, and this will again one more 10 records. Okay, it's actually doing the pagination for us. Okay, this after field. See, now you can see this code is changing here. Okay, so we should not pass the after field with any data in our first search. Okay, if you're trying to pass any data in the first search, it will not provide data because it will try to look for the pagination. It will not able to find the records, right? So always try to do the first search with the empty parameter, so that will give a cursor. And next consequent request, you can pass this data to here. And this is the purely JWT token. Okay, let me do a same small thing in the preview environment and show quickly. Okay. So I'm just removing the authoring data here, and let's see how it is giving here quickly. So you could see like same data, same query, data is same. You see the cursor is different here. Okay, you could see there's a empty here. Okay, the logic begin is the same. You just give the count only. It doesn't have any the last item ID or something like that where it need to fetch. But this is purely based on a pagination, how we do usually normally do in our day-to-day life, right? Like a counter, page number 1, 2, something, and from there take how many records. It exactly does that way. Okay, so this is how it is working here. Okay, fragment we covered. Drop link filtration, yes. So again, everything is same. Say for an example right now, this is again, you could see like I'm just going to search like layout, path, and you see CTA action is again a link field basically. CTA action is a link drop link field. So I'm just putting an ID here, and it will give me the exact record to me. Okay, so everything you can use ID based approach. All tree list, multi list, drop link, everywhere you can put a ID based thing. But in terms of like a multi list or something, if you want to search a multiple records, right? Say for example, you want to build a complex query, that is also possible. I have built some complex query here. Yes, okay. Yeah, you could see there's a complex query here. This is my last query I can show. So you could see like there, you could see this is a multiple R condition as well. So I used one AND condition here. This is a root AND. Inside that I have multiple R conditions. Okay, what this means, like we actually having multiple facets. Under the multiple facets, like we can select n number of data options, and all the item IDs we are getting from the front end, we are passing it to GraphQL to fetch the data. Okay, so that is also possible. So here every item is a individual facet list items. Okay, so I'm trying to get the data from Sidecore, and yeah, it is actually providing me the data. So based on the search condition, it is providing me 5 results. Yeah, that is also possible. We can still able to handle this kind of logic. You see the category here. This is my field in Sidecore, and it is a tree list. Okay, it acts like uh, um, this item has been selected. So I'm trying to search for this wherever the item is selected. Say for an example, one item would have only one item ID. Some other item will have this sort of selected, right? So whatever is matching these things, it will be providing the results to us. Okay. Any questions still now? We have enough of time. So, and no questions? Okay. Yeah, this is with respect to authoring environment. Any questions for? All right. Okay. One last thing I just want to show you quickly, which is this one. Give me a second. quickly. How you can get the URLs to all this if you don't able to remember these things, you can able to easily get these endpoints quickly. Like I can show you quickly. Go to Sidecar Cloud. Okay, the deploy cloud portal. So you can go here. You can see the project here. Under your project, you can see this environment details. Basically, like you can go to any of your environment. You're going to create this details. Go to this details section, and you could see like all the data will be available. What is authoring endpoint URL? What is a preview endpoint URL? What is the delivery endpoint, edge endpoint URL? Okay, you can just launch it like that. Okay, you don't need to remember those names. You can directly go here and you can able to launch this app. Okay, and again, we already generated a token that should work for us. Okay. Uh, yes. Yeah. Let me know if you guys have any questions.
Yeah, I think we are good. If you guys have any questions later, then you can reach out to Nelson or you can reach out to Sugin team as well.
Yep. Thank you guys, everyone, for listening me. And hope this will be helpful for anyone who getting started with XM Cloud with GraphQL. Thank you everyone for joining me. Thanks.
Thank you, Nelson. It was insightful and informative session. And thank you everyone for joining.
Bye bye.
Bye.